Into it, you're not into it. If you like it, you like it. You don't like it, shut up.
Welcome back to Second Sunday, Heavy Metal, the topic tonight. And to help us discuss that topic, we've got 4 teenagers here with us tonight. I want to thank all of you for being here and introduce all of you. Over here we have Sean, we have Lisa, we have Steve, and over here on the right we have Jenny. I'd like to think that I'm a pretty open-minded person, and I like lots of different types of music, from going upstairs to Tony Bennett in that era, to straight jazz, to pop jazz, to rock and roll. I like some of the Guns N' Roses stuff we just saw. But I have a little bit of a hard time figuring out what the attraction is to heavy metal, to the really loud, the really fast-paced heavy metal music that we're talking about. Let's start there. What is the attraction? What am I missing? What are our parents missing out there?
Just the speed, you know, it's just, you know, energy. It's pure energy. And it gets your heart pumping and your legs moving. It's great.
Is that basically the attraction, the fact that it pumps you up, it energizes you? Any of you jump right in?
It's sort of an escape, actually.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're having a bad time at school or something, and you just come home, listen to it, or, you know, if you play an instrument or something, it really lets you let loose a lot of energy and frustration.
Go home and jam all day.
Mm-hmm. Does any other type of music do the same things for you that heavy metal does?
Not really. Heavy metal gets your mind off of things, you know?
Yeah.
It's just
sort of like classical. That's just where I get like inspiration to play sometimes. But
what is it attractive about it for you, Lisa?
Well, it's loud, it's hard, it's obnoxious, and when you're getting sick of what's going on in the outside world, you just retreat to your room and you listen to it, and all of a sudden everything's not so bad.
So it's a release.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Okay. Do you understand why some parents get nervous when they see you listening to that, or when they see you wearing Ozzy t-shirts and things like that? Do you understand that at all? Should they be nervous?
No, they shouldn't be nervous at all, really.
No?
they don't really ask us about it or listen to it or try and understand it. Like, you know, maybe they'll listen to the song or something and they'll just like hear one word like sex or something, and they'll pick that out and say, oh, well, that's bad. But here the song could be totally against sex, but they wouldn't listen to the whole song to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it happens all the time. When there's something you don't understand, you're scared of it. And it seems like the adults don't listen to it all the time. They don't know what the underlying meanings are.
Yeah.
And when you just listen to it and take it at face value, you think it's really bad. But when you give it a chance, maybe it's not that bad.
Is it just your generation's music? I mean, is it your music just as other bands was the music of our generation?
Kind of, yeah. Like Elvis was, they thought Elvis was all sex and everything. You know, I found this out the other day. And then they turn around and worship this guy, you know?
And they thought he had long hair.
Yeah.
It's like every generation needs their bad boys or whatever to identify with.
Let's define what heavy metal really is. We've seen in some of the clips that we saw, we've seen some different types of bands, but some of those, I would take it, you probably wouldn't necessarily describe as heavy metal.
No.
What is heavy metal music as opposed to some of the music that we did see?
Metallica is heavy metal.
Okay, that's fast, aggressive, loud.
Very fast.
Well, real heavy metal are the groups that are concerned about what they're playing and what they're saying, and not how they look. They don't care if their eyeliner's on, right, because they don't wear it. They don't worry about the hairspray because they don't wear it. They're concerned about the music and about letting the teenagers have fun with it.
So there's also a message in it? Is that in the music, or?
There probably is a message underneath it all, but they're not going out there on a tour to preach what they believe. They're going out there to have fun.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything slightly sinister about it, or dangerous? I mean, from your point of view?
That's some people that they see it wrong. Like somebody kills themselves and they say, oh, he was listening to Judas Priest or something. That's not the music. The music ain't gonna make you run out and kill yourself. That's the person himself. That's what he's, you know, if he's got problems or something and he's gonna do it. Doesn't matter if he listens to country or classical or heavy metal or what. He's gonna do it if he wants to do it. It's not the music making him do it.
What do you think about that? You're wearing an Ozzy, I got a kick out of this. You're wearing an Ozzy Osbourne t-shirt. And as we all know, he's one of the guys who always gets the, I'm sure you would say bad rep. That they're saying that he's into all the satanic stuff, he's preaching suicide, he's telling young people to kind of tune out. And yet at the same time, you've got a cross around your neck. Is there, I'm a little confused by that, or should I be confused by that?
You can take it how you want, you know. It's just like how you see Ozzy is different than how I see him, you know. He's a father, he has kids, you know. He's, you know, just your basic everyday person. When he goes up on stage, he, you know, escapes, you know, kind of lets loose. And, you know, when they said that dude killed himself from listening to his song, I mean, I know maybe that boy, you know, it might have set him off to do it, but he was going to do it anyway sooner or later. You know, he probably had a lot of problems at home, and maybe his parents didn't want to admit that it might have been their fault that, you know, they did it. So it's like people always try and find something to blame the bad things in the world on, you know. So they're blaming, like, a lot of things that teenagers do wrong on their music.
Steve, is there a satanic influence in this music?
Oh, some of the bands I listen to, like Slayer, I was reading some articles on it, and they do, like, include the satanic stuff, but then again, they include stuff about Vietnam, you know, everything that's bad in life. And they said some of the satanic stuff they do, like, when they were an earlier band, just starting out, they do it because they're, like, more or less rebelling against adults and stuff, and they just want to shock people.
To get known.
Is that a large part of it? They want to wake people up. They want to shock them. Is that part of it, Lisa?
Well, they're finally making it big in the music industry, and they want to get as much, you know, be as outlandish as they can. You know, it's their first big time in front of the camera, and they want to be really weird so people remember them.
Let me go back to a point that Jenny raised, and that is that people are looking to put blame or put guilt on somebody out there. You strongly feel that? Do you feel that a lot of society is looking for somebody to be a scapegoat for their problems, and some of the people who play heavy metal are the scapegoats? Is that?
Do you ever, like, want to say, well, it's my fault? How many people admit it's their fault when they do something, you know?
And you think that's the case? This is an example of that?
I think a lot of ways it is, because, I mean, parents, they don't want to admit that their kids aren't perfect a lot of times, and they'll say, well, it's this that's influencing them. Like, a lot of times they'll say, well, I don't want you hanging around this person or that person because they're bad. You know, the person has a mind of their own. You know, they can make their own decisions and say yes or no to whatever they want.
Do you think the music, though, is at all influential? Let's say a person is troubled. You know, Sean mentioned, you know, somebody who's talking about or contemplating suicide has some problems, obviously. But if they listen to perhaps an album, or they listen to a CD or something, and that CD or album is talking about suicide, is it something that pushes them a little bit further? Could it be something that pushes them a little bit further?
That's like if the president listened to it and it said something about nuclear assault. He's not going to go push the button.
So you think that's kind of a...
Yeah, that's what people make it out to be, what it's not.
Yeah. You can take it either way. If you hear like lyrics like that, you can take it as either, you know, this guy wants to kill himself, or he's, you know, telling a story about a friend who killed himself, or he's just saying in general, you know, how stupid this sounds.
I think there are a lot of things everywhere in everyday life that can affect you one way or another. And it's just because metal is so noticeable, because it's so much different than other aspects of life, that you give it the extra attention, and you think it's worse than these other affecting.
Yeah, it's an easy target. You see these guys on the stage, and you just look at them like, oh God, these guys have got to be the worst hoodlums ever made.
They're so easy to poke fun at, and so that's what everyone does.
How popular is the music today? I mean, is it the most popular music in your high schools?
No.
No.
No,
Mine
really?
is. Mine, it's pretty close, yeah.
Okay. You go to Juneau?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of headbangers there.
Really?
There's a lot, but the people who listen to, like, rap music and house music outnumber us a lot.
At our school, they just listen to anything. It's
Yeah. So if you, let's say a parent was out there watching tonight and noticed that her son's or his son's room was filled with either albums or CDs by bands such as Anthrax or Slayer or Metallica or Megadeth or whatever, should that parent be concerned? What would you tell that parent about the music? Any of you?
I'd say you should be glad that your son or daughter is getting so musically diverse. You know, I'm sure that parents, when they were young, they tried to make them listen to this kind of music and that kind of music, and you know, you can't decide for your kids on everything they're gonna do.
Are you going to be listening to this music 10 years from now, do you think?
Yeah, everyone says we'll grow out of it, but I don't think we will.
Yeah.
So when you're out raising kids, they'll be growing up to the tunes of Megadeth and stuff?
I don't know. It's more to me than just like a stage or whatever. It's something I grew up with, you know, and so I get into it a lot. But I don't know. I think maybe a lot of parents are concerned because Geraldo, I don't know if I can mention him, but...
Sure. Go ahead.
On his Satanic special, he was saying, well, if you notice that your kid is listening to heavy metal, he could be satanic. And that was one of the signs of drug use on one of his shows. And it's like they use that as signs of all these bad things when, you know, really it's not.
They point the finger at it. They try blaming it because it's so different. It's like, oh, that's fast, and they have long hair. And they totally discriminate against guys with long hair. I had to get my hair cut for a job, you know.
Good. We're going to hold it right there because when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the concerns that do exist out there about the music, and we'll discuss that further when we continue on Second Sunday.
Be my baby, baby, I was made to be your man.
Hey, give me a seafood salad with sprouts and put it on a croissant.
Not from around here, are you?
No, why?
You only have brownberry bread in this town.
Brownberry?
Folks come from all over the county for it. No other wheat bread tastes so moist, so rich, so delicious.
Fine. I'll have the brownberry.
Sorry. We're all out.
When it's brownberry, it's never ordinary.
How to order a Denny's special.
The all-you-can-eat shrimp special, please.
Why are you ordering for the waitress?
I didn't order for her.
You asked for all she could eat.
I didn't ask for all she could eat. I asked for all I could eat, and it's called all you can eat.
Well, who cares how much I can eat if you're ordering for the waitress?
I didn't order for her or you. I ordered for me.
Then mind your own business and order all the shrimp you can eat at Lenny's. Denny's.
Enjoy all the shrimp you can eat for just $6.99. Only at Denny's.
There's so much to see, so much to do, and it's all so near. So let yourself go. In Wisconsin, you're among friends.
A lot of people don't understand it, so they just go and they say, well, it's satanic.
People want to get involved with drugs, it's up to them. But music has nothing to do with it.
Old stuff I find has more drug-related, like The Who, Zeppelin, and Floyd has a lot of drug-oriented Doors, but the newer stuff really doesn't.
There's nothing, violent that I've heard in it. I think it's just what you want it to be.
It all depends on how you want to take it. If you're going to take it suicidal, then it's your problem. But if you don't, then there's nothing really to worry about.
Like no other, stay with me tonight.
We're talking heavy metal on this edition of Second Sunday. 4 people here probably call themselves headbangers. We heard that earlier. It's an interesting nickname. But right now we're going to talk to Dr. Doug Meske. He's a psychotherapist. And why we invited you on, Doctor, was to talk about some of the concerns. I asked these 4 people about some of the concerns about the music earlier. Yeah. Are there legitimate concerns about what they're listening to these days?
I think so. When I was listening to you folks talk, there's 6 of them that hit me right away. One is the emphasis on violence. I think there's just a lot of that comes out in the music. I worry about the messages given about women in particular and male-female relationships, what they're all about. The level of, the third one is hopelessness. A lot of times my hearing is that it sounds very heavy. It sounds down to me. Like some of you mentioned how it gets you up. Well, I think if it does, that's fine, but I'm worried about that. Fourth one is the moods that get influenced. I think somebody who's already depressed might get worse. I definitely think we're influenced by what we see, what we hear, what we start thinking about. Another one is the values. I think the concept of values. And finally, the one around, a couple of the kids mentioned, when I don't like what's going on in the real world, I can get into my own world. They can like back away from it. And I think one of the tasks we have as people is learning how to cope with life, learning how to face things with some hope. And so I worry about those kinds of things.
He's expressing some of the concerns, some of them we touched on earlier. Anything that leaps out at you that you'd like to address right now? Any of you?
It picks up your feeling for me, I guess. You know, if something's going down, just get in the car and just turn it up, you know. It picks your feelings up, you know.
Yeah, he said like an escape. You know, we use music as our escape, and you know, you'll see your mother, she'll use like a romance novel as their escape. And you know, everybody has their own little escape, you know.
So they live the little fantasies. What's wrong with that? That's kind of
it's, you know, it's hard to deal with life all the time. I admit you have to deal with it, but you know, it just gets too much sometimes.
Well, as we're growing up, we're learning to deal with stress, and they're saying when you get older, it only gets worse. So you're learning how to deal with it now, and you'll probably find a different way as you get older, but it's fine for now, I'd say.
Better than drugs.
Do you ladies ever get concerned about the message it seems to give about being a woman?
No. I don't.
Don't you?
Because most of those, you know, kind of messages are in like Poison or Bon Jovi, and those aren't really that heavy metal anyways. They're like glamour rock, you know, out for the publicity and to look good, like a big old play on stage or something.
Money.
Well, and they're generalizations too, and I feel confident that anyone who listens to it and makes a judgment about girls or women and then meets me, I think you're going to have to form your own opinion, because probably a lot of that stuff is not true.
Well, one thing that you raised on is this whole relationship between males and females. What is the music saying? May not be heavy metal, but it's one of the most popular videos right now on MTV. You're probably all aware of it. It's Sam Kinnison's Wild Thing. Sam Kinnison is a comedian, a former preacher who's now a comedian. He also likes to play music. He made a video, his idea of what a video should look like, and we're going to run an excerpt from Sam Kinnison's Wild Thing.
Wild thing, I think you move me. But I wanna know for sure. Every time I kiss you, I taste what other men had for lunch. The only thing can get you off is to see me in pain, but I think I love you.
That's a little bit of Sam Kinnison's Wild Thing. Actually, that was fairly tame. As those of you who are familiar with the video, it involves a lot of rolling around between Sam Kinnison and Jessica Hahn. And there are a lot of rock superstars, some of them the glamour rock superstars you talk about, who kind of sit up there in a ring and leer somewhat. I think that would be a safe way of putting it. Is there a message in that? Is that all that innocent, or is it saying something about what we think of women, or how women should be treated, or are we exaggerating when we say that?
Exaggerating way too much. They're just posers up there trying to, you know, look pretty for the girls and stuff like that, dance around like Winger and, oh God, man.
See, but I think there's something coming out in there that talks about be rough, or come on with a macho image that might hurt somebody, or that the woman has to be real sultry and real seductive in order to be okay. And to me, one of the biggest things we all need to work on is a good self-image and how we feel about one another. And that's what I worry about when I see that kind of depiction.
I don't see that at all.
Okay.
It's just weird because I'm hearing you saying this, and I'm a girl. So it's like, I don't do the things you just mentioned, you know. I'm my own person, you know. If, like, the guys don't like me for who I am, you know, then, you know, that's tough. But it's like, you said people get influenced by anything, so why just heavy metal, you know?
Oh, I agree. I think that's something to be concerned about on all levels. I think if we weren't influenced by what we saw, commercials wouldn't pay $1 million for a 60-second segment. But I think one of the things you just mentioned is that since you seem to know yourself, like yourself, you're pretty strong. You know who you are, and you know what you're going to be and not be. The person who's struggling with that, though, if you knew some young guy or gal who was struggling with their own identity, might they have trouble finding out how they should be in life?
I've yet to meet a person that listens to heavy metal that's, that just wants to go around, beat people up or something.
Yeah.
They're all, like, I don't know what you think of us, but, basically we're all pretty nice people.
Watching you earlier, I'm impressed.
Well, I mean, it kind of gives you an identity. You go into school and you don't know anyone yet, and all of a sudden you hear this person likes Ozzy, and this person, oh, I heard Metallica come out of her mouth. And all of a sudden you're joining in with them right away because you have a common bond. And then you end up meeting people that you never would meet if you didn't hear about this.
Yeah, I went to California, and I seen a guy with just the long hair. He walks by, he nods at me and smiles. It's like we have a bond.
Yeah, like unspoken
like a family
friendship
around the country.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one of the things Doug raised, and it was kind of the hopelessness. And we did talk about that earlier. Some of the heavy metal bands, the speed metal bands, their messages are pretty grim at times. I mean, they're talking about the world around them, and sometimes, as we all know, the world isn't the greatest place. Does that add to someone who may already be disenfranchised, who may already have problems with the world around him or her? Does that add to their troubles? I think that's what he's trying to drive at. Maybe that puts them further and further away from the mainstream.
Not really, it's just telling the truth. I mean, why run from it? It's there.
It makes you face reality.
Yeah,
when you're depressed, just about everything else depresses you. Music will depress you a little, but if you go to school when you're depressed, that really depresses you.
I think it's something that can even help, because when you think you're the only one who has a problem, and then you hear something and somebody's feeling the same way you are, except they're screaming into a microphone about it, you realize you're not the only one, and they're dealing with it, so can you.
Doug, one thing we want to make clear is that you're not condemning all of this music at all. What would you like to see? There does seem to be a gap, though, that exists out there between people your age, their age, my age, on what the music means and whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. What needs to happen?
Well, what has to happen is what we're doing here. If one of these young gentlemen or ladies were one of my sons or daughters, I'd feel comfortable talking with them about what is it doing to you, what does it mean to you. If I had some concern, I'd want to find it and show it to them, and I'd get the sense that they'd listen to it. If I had some question, they might be able to show me, Dad, you're worrying about something that's not there. I think talking about it is real critical. I think the parents and children have to open up this conversation. What are you worried about? What do I need to know so that I can feel more comfortable with your decision, says the parent to the child, and that we break this big gap in forming judgments without us knowing what's really going on.
Do you think you can sit down with folks and talk about this, or adults with this, and say, hey, this is where I'm coming from?
What does bother me about it is that the parents are just like, it's rotten, if they give it a chance, my mom, she's even given it a chance. She's listened to some of the music. She even likes one or two of my songs. But, they have this, they don't want their daughter to have, or their son or daughter just to have anything bad happen to them. They gotta let them live,
Yeah, they gotta be more open-minded. I mean, my mom wanted me to be the type of little girl who, wore dresses and, just, I don't know, a little prep or something.
Mike, I think all of us parents, we struggle with, will our kids hurt themselves? How are they forming their values? Where do sex and drugs fit in? How will they handle violence in good relationships? All very critical and important questions. Probably questions these young folks deal with too. So if we're all going to talk about it, if we don't put up a wall of I've made a decision and that's it, maybe we can get through these things and grow from it and protect from the tragedies occurring. Maybe that's the answer.
All right, that's going to have to be the final word. We've run out of time. A half hour goes by very quickly, especially when you're listening to music that you like sometimes. Let me thank all of you. Doug Meskey, Jenny, thank you very much. Steve, thank you. Lisa, thank you. Thank you, Sean. We appreciate your time today.
You're welcome.
And that's it for us on this edition of Second Sunday. I'm Mike Goucher. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's program. We'll see you back here a month from now, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Good night.
clothes on a